Hi guys, it's Amanda. Welcome back to another crochet tutorial. Today we're going to make these cozy, warm, fingerless gloves. They're very easy to make and they'd be a beautiful gift for Christmas, a birthday, or just because. They're a great winter accessory, especially if you're like me and you like to stay warm. I live in Las Vegas and anything below like 50 degrees is really cold for me. What about you guys? Where do you live? Does it get cold where you live? Let me know in the comments below. I love to hear where you guys are from. Really quickly before we get started, I created a free written pattern for these gloves for anyone that signs up to my newsletter. Just click on the link in the description, enter your email, and then the pattern will be sent directly to you for free. So if you'd like that, go click on the link in the description. And if you're new, I just want to say thank you so much for being here. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button for more crochet tutorials and to become a part of this creative community. Now let's get started with this tutorial. So for this project, I'm going to be using this Wool Ease yarn by Lion Brand, and it's in the color Fisherman. So it's like a creamy off-white, and it's a medium 4 weight, and it's 80% acrylic and 20% wool. There's 180 meters or 197 yards in this skein, and we're only going to use one of these. And then we're also going to use a 5mm crochet hook, a yarn needle, and I have some markers here. I'm just going to use some paper clips and a measuring tape. We're going to start this project off with the cuff. So we're going to start down here and work our way up. So to get started, we're going to crochet the foundation of our cuff. So I'm going to start off just by tying a double knot around my hook. You could start off with a slip knot if that's something that you like to do. That will work as well. I like to start off just with a simple knot like that, and it creates a loop. And then from here we're going to crochet 9 chains using our 5mm hook. And then count back 2 chains, then single crochet into that second chain. So to single crochet, all you have to do is just insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, so just grab the yarn, you'll have 2 loops, yarn over again, and then bring that through both loops. And just continue to single crochet in each one of these stitches until you get to the end of the row. So I completed my first row of 8 single crochets, and to begin our next row we're going to turn our work. We're going to chain 1, and this chain is not going to count as a single crochet. So for this row we're going to single crochet using only the back loops, and so I'm going to start on this very first stitch right here. So to do that, I'm just going to insert my hook into that back loop, yarn over, now I have 2 loops, yarn over again, and bring it through both of those loops. So one more time, here I have these 2 loops here. I'm going to insert my hook into the back loop only, yarn over, now I have 2 loops, yarn over again, and then bring it through both of those loops. So that's single crocheting using only the back loops. So I'm going to continue to do that for each stitch in this row. So I completed my second row of 8 single crochets using the back loops only. You can start to see the ribbing effect going on. And then for the third row, we're going to start this the same way that we did the second row. So we're just going to turn over our work, chain 1, and then once again this chain does not count as a single crochet, so we're going to single crochet into that back loop of that very first stitch. Okay, so just like that. And we're going to continue this technique of adding more rows and single crocheting using the back loops for a total of 24 rows. So every single row is going to have 8 single crochets. So I'll show you guys what that looks like when I complete 24 rows. So I completed the 24 rows and I kept 8 single crochets in every single row using the back loops only. Here's how it looks like. So as you can see, it's starting to look like a cuff. It has a beautiful ribbed texture to it. And to give you a measurement for reference, it's about 6 inches in length, but it does stretch. So we're going to start where we left off, and we're going to single crochet all along the edge of this cuff. So I'm going to start off by crocheting 1 chain, and that's not going to count as a single crochet, so I'm going to single crochet into that same stitch, and then I'm going to single crochet into each one of these stitches. So really what we're doing here, we're just cleaning up this edge because that's going to be the bottom of our cuff. So for example, here's my other cuff on the glove that I actually already finished. See how the end is nice and clean? That's what we're doing here. So just continue that until you get to the other side. Alright, so I completed single crocheting across the edge here. As you can see, it's a much cleaner edge than the other side. Then with this clean edge, this is going to be on the outside, and then this other side is the inside. So I'm going to fold this in half where the inside is facing us. And then this loop here, we're going to bring that through the first stitch on this corner. So I'm going to insert my hook into that first stitch on this corner, and then I'm going to place the loop right on the back, and then I'm going to pull that through that first stitch. And then from here we're going to connect the cuff. So I'm going to do that using a slip stitch. We're going to insert our hook into the next stitch on both layers. Yarn over, and then bring that yarn through both layers and also through the loop on your hook. Then we're going to do that again. So we're going to insert our hook into the next stitch on both sides, yarn over, bring it through those 2 layers, and then through the loop on your hook. So we're just going to continue to do that, to slip stitch all the way across, and making sure that the stitches are lined up on both sides so that you end on the same stitch. So here's the very last stitch here. You should be on your last stitch on both ends. And so now it's connected. And then from there, we're going to bring this seam on the inside. Alright, so I flipped it where the seam is on the inside. Here's the loop that we were working on. And then from here on out, we're actually going to work in rounds. And the first round is going to be just single crochets all the way around. Then I'm going to start off with 1 chain, and this chain is not going to count as a stitch or a single crochet, so I'm going to single crochet into that same exact stitch that I was just working out of, and also into every single stitch all the way around. So So it's similar to what we just did on the bottom of the cuff. So I just completed the last single crochet in this round. So you can see I made it all the way around here. And then to complete the round, I'm going to insert my hook right here on that very first single crochet. And then I'm going to place that loop right on the hook and pull it through. So that completes that first round. Now for the second round, we're going to do a combination of single crochets and double crochets, and we're going to alternate between those two to create an up and down stitch. And I'm going to start off with one chain, and then I'm going to single crochet into that same exact stitch that I just did that one chain out of, because that one chain is not going to count as a stitch. And then after I do that single crochet, I'm going to do a double crochet into the next stitch. And then into the next stitch, I'm going to do a single crochet. And then the next stitch, a double crochet. And then a single crochet, and just continue alternating between single crochets and double crochets for each stitch. So here's my very last stitch in the second round, and it's going to be a double crochet. So you're always going to end your rounds with a double crochet, and you're always going to start your rounds with a single crochet. So that's going to stay consistent for every single round that we're doing this up and down stitch on. Now, one thing that's important to note is that I chose an even number of rows down here on the cuff so that we would have an even number of stitches going around so that this up and down stitch would work. So if you don't have an even number, you're not going to land on a double crochet on your very last stitch, and so it's going to kind of like mess up the stitch. So make sure you have an even number of rows on this cuff down here, and then your stitch will work out for you. So to connect this second round here, we're going to do the same exact thing, which is insert our hook into that first single crochet, and then put the loop on the back, bring it through, and then to start our next round, we're going to chain one, and then we're going to single crochet into that exact same stitch, and then we're going to begin to alternate with a double crochet, and then with a single crochet, double crochet, and so on. So I'm going to continue alternating between a single and double crochet for this entire round. So I'm coming up to my last stitch in this round. I'm going to show you guys one more time how to complete the round. So we're going to double crochet into the very last stitch in this round, and then we're going to insert our hook into this very first single crochet right here, place the loop on the back and bring it through that single crochet, and then we're going to chain one, single crochet into that very same stitch, and then double crochet into the next stitch, oops, then single crochet, double crochet, and just continue alternating between double and single crochet. So you can see it's starting to develop this really pretty texture, and this is what it looks like on the completed glove. I'm a huge fan of this stitch. I think it's really, really pretty. So we're going to continue this technique and adding rows the same way that we have been, using the up and down stitch until we complete 17 rows. So right now I am on row number 4. So I just started row number 4. So I'm going to show you guys what that looks like once I have completed 17 rows. So I continued adding rounds, and here I am on the very last double crochet in the 17th round. So that's the very last double crochet. I'm going to finish off this round the way that I normally do. And to start the 18th round, I'm going to crochet 5 chains. Then I'm going to skip 7 stitches. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I'm going to single crochet into the 8th stitch here. And then I'm going to go back to alternating to a double crochet and a single crochet, double crochet, and continue alternating all the way around. So here's the last stitch, this double crochet here in the 18th round. Now to move on to the 19th round, we're going to connect and complete this 18th round in a way that we normally do. So here's my 5 chains. I'm going to insert my hook into this first chain here and insert the little working loop on the back and pull it through that chain. So that completes the 18th round. Now we're going to move on to the 19th round the way that we normally would. So we just chain 1 chain, and then into that same exact chain we're going to single crochet, and then for the next chain we're going to alternate to a double crochet and then a single crochet and then a double crochet, and just continue to alternate here the way that we have been. So this is where our thumb is going to go. So I'm just continuing that same stitch all the way around. So here's the very last stitch in this round. It's a double crochet. And then I'm going to connect and complete this round the way that I have been. Just insert your hook into that first single crochet, bring that loop through, crochet a chain, crochet a single crochet in that same exact stitch, and then alternate between double and single crochets. So this is round number 20, and we're going to continue this same exact technique until we've completed 23 rounds. So I'll show you guys what that looks like once I've completed 23 rounds. So here's my very last stitch, the last double crochet in the 23rd round, and I'm going to finish it off the same way that I have been. And then for our 24th round, this is going to be our last round, and we're just going to clean up the edges by just single crocheting all the way around. So again, I'm going to start this just by crocheting 1 chain. I'm going to single crochet into the same exact stitch, and then just single crochet into every stitch across. And then once you've come all the way around, we're going to just insert our hook into that very first single crochet, pull it through, and then crochet 2 chains, and then that's when we can just cut this off a few inches of length there, and then just pull it through and push down those 2 chains, and then we've got a nice secure knot. And then the last thing that we're going to do is just take our yarn needle and feed that loose end of yarn through the needle, and we're just going to hide it by hiding it through the inside. So that's the completed fingerless glove. You're going to repeat this same exact process and make another one. And the left and the right are both the same. It doesn't matter which hand you wear it on. And this is what it looks like on. Thank you guys so much for watching. I know I say this every single video, but I hope you guys know how thankful I am for your support. The fact that you're watching this video right now is supporting my journey and my passion. And I really appreciate your feedback, whether it's good or bad. I really do take it into consideration when I make new videos, and I really do feel like it makes my channel better. So thank you guys for sharing your feedback with me. And if you'd like the free written pattern that I created for these gloves, I'll leave a link in the description. It'll be the first link. Just click that link, enter your email for my newsletter, and then the pattern will be sent directly to you for free. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more DIYs. I recently just made this beautiful oversized sweater and this super easy crochet scarf that you can find on my channel. And this week's quote is actually a Bible verse. It's something that really helped me get through this week, and I was like debating, should I share this or not, because I know people may have other religious beliefs and I completely respect that, but I just feel called to share this quote with you guys. So it's 2 Corinthians chapter 12 verse 9. Each time he said, "My grace is all you need. My power works best in weakness. So now I am glad to boast about my weaknesses, so that the power of Christ can work through me." It was a very challenging week. Just things got crazy in my life. My mom was hospitalized for a few days. I had to watch her in excruciating pain while the doctors did not know why she was in pain and if it had to do with the cancer that she has been battling for the past couple years. That was one part of the week. And then the other part of the week was that me and my husband actually got into a car accident where a car ran a red light as we were turning left, and luckily, by the grace of God, we were able to walk away from this accident. And then I'm also happy to say that my mom's fully recovered and they don't think that it's related to her cancer at all. So I'm very happy and blessed for that, and just to have life and to have my family and to be able to do this and get on this camera and do something that I really love and enjoy and that I'm passionate about. But before I knew how everything was gonna play out, like when I was in the midst of all this pain and just like worry and anxiety and all of that, you know, there's negative thoughts that try to come in and creep in, and they literally try to make me think the worst. And what I've learned is in those moments, you can either choose to listen to those thoughts and just be overwhelmed with sadness, or you can choose hope, that even though you feel like you have no control over the situation, like you are completely weak, you can choose to believe that there is a greater purpose for this pain, that this is all part of a bigger picture, and that there is a good force that is looking out for you and that is actually going to make this situation beautiful in time. Whether that's tomorrow, whether that's in a year, like in time, you will be better because of this. You'll be stronger. You'll be able to value the important things in life, and you'll be able to grow in a way that you wouldn't have been able to if you were not put in that situation. So that is what I took away from this week. It's so crazy that all this happened literally a week before me and my husband are taking a 3-month trip to Costa Rica to work and travel, and like literally a week before we leave, all this is happening, and I don't feel like it's a coincidence at all. I know that all of this is probably meant to be, and I don't understand it right now, and I know one day I will look back and I'll be like, oh, okay, now I get it, you know, like that's why that had to happen. But I'm just grateful for my life. I am grateful for my family, we're celebrating Thanksgiving this week and I get to put up this video for you guys, so I'm happy and I'm just wishing you guys an awesome week. Happy Thanksgiving if you're watching this right now, but if you're watching this later, like, just hope you have an awesome week and I will see you guys on my next video. Stay creating. Love you guys. Bye.